Haven't you ever looked at a huge tech company and thought, how did that start? It turns out that Apple, Amazon, and HP, three of the world's most powerful companies, didn't start out with a lot of money or fancy office buildings. They began in sheds, normal, messy garages full of spiders. Still, there was more to these than storage rooms with dreams. These sheds were the starting points for empires. We're going to look into how that happened today. Going back in time, let's start in Palo Alto, California in 1939. For $538, two young Stanford graduates named Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard hired a small garage behind a house on Addison Avenue. They made the deal over a handshake. Do not invest, not a business plan, just a love for tech that they both share. In that small garage, they made their first offering, an oscillator for sound. While it may not sound very exciting, Walt Disney thought it was fun and used it to test sound tools for Fantasia. That one thing? It helped HP Hewlett-Packard get started. And that little garage, it's now known as the place where Silicon Valley began. Not bad for a place that doesn't have any insulation and isn't well lit. Now let's go back in time to 1976 and find another Palo Alto garage. In this case, it's the garage of Steve Jobs' folks. Steve Jobs and his high school friend Steve Wozniak were busy connecting computer parts by hand when they were younger. What is their job? To make the Apple I, a personal computer that looked more like a toy than a machine. Of course, Wozniak was a genius when it came to tech. Jobs? He saw the picture. A nearby computer shop agreed to buy 50 units because of him. So all of a sudden they were in business. Not a business group, no money, just work hard. They didn't stay in the garage for a long time. However, it did show that two guys, a circuit board, and the idea that computers could be personal could start a change in the field of computers. Then 1994 came along. Seattle. He quits his well-paying job on Wall Street, takes his wife and a laptop on a road trip across the country, and sets up shop in a garage. His thought? Putting books up for sale online. The internet wasn't the future back then. It was slow, not good. A lot of people didn't even believe it. However, Bezos saw a chance. Amazon began with desk doors and extension lines running across the floor. One garage, just one group, one crazy goal to be the place for everything. A lot of people thought it was funny. Some people still do. But that shed was the start of a revolution that changed the way people shop forever. So why do we need garages? It's not because they are magical. Not because they have a lot of space. And especially not because they're easy. But only because they're enough. Enough to build something real without having to ask for approval first. Enough to begin, even though they don't know everything. They stand for toughness. Not enough. Listen. They get rid of the extraneous stuff and make ideas work or die. Hewlett-Packard. Apple and Amazon. There were three companies that changed the world that got their start in crowded, dirty sheds. Not in meeting rooms. Not in the glass skyscrapers of Silicon Valley. But that's where most people leave their cars and stuff. That might be the real lesson after all. That's not where you begin. You start with that. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.